The Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Clemson is going to kick the shit out of the South Carolina Gamecocks probably for the next 10 years every time they run across each other.
Kale Carolina Jackpot Hall.
The South Carolina Gamecocks are weaker than a plate full of piss.
The Rob and Kale podcasts.
Let's go.
And welcome in to the Rob and Kale Show podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us here on the program. Welcome in my podcast partner from the upstate. He is, of course, Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Kale Hall. Kale, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's everybody going? Or how's everybody going? How is it going today, everyone? It's a rainy Sabbath here as we wind it down. First day of daylight savings time in the United States of America, and it's a real shitter here as we get washed out. But hey, it is what it is. We'll have plenty of nice days coming up this year. Plenty of
that is absolutely true. And the best part now is that we'll have that extra time in the evening when you get home from work. You can run around and, whatever it is you want to do outside, you can probably get it done. So there's that. So,
yep. Well, I don't know that I'm going to do much running, but I'll be doing some walking around. I can definitely, I got to go get a sprayer tomorrow to spray some weeds in the flower bed that popped up with this concentrate stuff I bought. And yeah, so I got mowing done yesterday too, though, and the weed eating and all that right before it rained. So,
well, there you go with that. I want to, first of all, thank our sponsors, Calloway's Bar and Grill. They sponsor the Callaway's Pick'em Challenge. The link to enter the contest, your ass is going to enter a bracket challenge anyway. I venture to say that 95% of our listeners will enter a bracket challenge of some sort. Now, you can enter the standard cheesy-ass bracket challenge you're probably going to have at your office where the winner will get, I don't know, a bucket of Oreos. Or you could win some cold, hard cash.
That is a bucket of Oreo. A bucket of Oreos sounds pretty good as long as they're not.
All right,
crushed.
then look.
As long as they're not crushed from being in the bucket, and how many Oreos are in the bucket? Are they fudge covered or not?
A bucket of jizz, Jackpot. No one wants a bucket of jizz. Okay, I was trying to be, but I have to hit you with that because you're thinking, well, shit, I'll just go play for the Oreos.
Did you shave your beard off? By the way.
No, I got it trimmed up because it was all too bushy and shit. And I had a wedding that I had to go and do the DJing for last night that I had to be somewhat presentable.
You hairless for the wedding, or
I'm not hairless. I just got rid of some of my beard. It was insane.
I like being able to have one now. It's because at the job I left about 3.5 years ago, you couldn't have facial hair at the time. I mean, you could have a mustache, you couldn't have a beard. And I found out that a beard is kind of like a fat person's, it's kind of like your level up because you can hide chubby cheeks and chubby face and chubby turkey waddle and all that stuff. So I've chosen to keep mine.
Wait, do you have a turkey neck, Jackpot? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I might or I might not. It's covered up. So,
that's like it's like a surprise. It's like a chunky guy wearing a sweatshirt. Is he chunky or is he not? You don't know until you take that shirt off, by God.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right.
He said he wants a bucket of jizz. Good trophy to have a good conversation started when you have guests over. Yeah. I mean, because they're like, hey, where'd you get that there, guy? I mean, there's all kinds of questions I could ask. Is it yours or does it belong to another guy? And then they get into a whole thing about your orientation and whatnot.
I beat Susan in accounting for that bucket of jizz. She had Gonzaga in the Final Four, and I didn't. But that's all right because I had the champion. I had 3 of the Final Four. Still beat the lady in accounting. Megan says, just put me down for dead fucking last. I mean, that's pretty much in everything. I mean, the guy's running around with his Texas A&M tube top that's bedazzled with Jimbo Fisher's face on it. That thing's all messed up now from all the Taco Bell sauce he's got on it. So, yeah. Anyway, enter the contest, Peg and Megan. It doesn't take you very long. You can fill out a bracket in probably 5 minutes, and maybe a little bit longer for you because things. But you can
Now I
fill
got
out.
to think about it. We're going to take a look at the bracket tonight. Or do you have it up?
No, I've got a picture of the bracket. We could look at some of it tonight, but I thought we'd pick our brackets Wednesday. If you wanted to go over some of that stuff,
I know we will, but I'd like to look at some of those games. I mean, I did watch it when it came on, but
I think that that's great. But let's finish our sponsors first. Callaway sponsors that. Links in the description. Callaway'sBarandGrill.com. Also, you've got Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport, Fireside Chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, tell us a story.
sure.
Yeah.
All righty. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Being a Clemson basketball fan is like being a Clemson football fan. No hope. Not worth a fuck ever. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
I'm not sure what that was correct, but
Well,
okay.
I read what you sent me. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Being a Clemson basketball fan is like being a Clemson football fan. No hope. Not worth a fuck ever.
Well,
So, hey, I'm just spitting facts over here. And, I tend to agree with that a little bit. Although you got a new offensive coordinator, and we talked about that yesterday. He talking about turning them into Tennessee. So there may be some hope.
That's not. God damn it! I can't believe people are this fucking stupid.
There may be some hope. He's going to turn them into Tennessee. That's what your quarterback said. It's going to be Tennessee next year.
Okay. He implied putting out the amount of offense that Tennessee put out.
No. He said we're going to look a lot like Tennessee next year.
Yes, the implication was score a lot of fucking points.
Yeah, but he didn't imply. I mean, that's what he said. We're going to be Tennessee.
He didn't say we're going to run up to the line like a bunch of assholes and just try to get mismatches because we don't have the fucking troops.
Well, I mean, if
matched up with everybody.
To be fair, if Clemson's running up to the line, it's a bunch of assholes running up to it anyway.
All right, you know what? I'm not even going to entertain that. I mean,
gimmick offense over there in Tatertown.
Their offense is a gimmick. That's just the way that it is. They're not going to do that.
That cheap Clemson gimmick offense going to put up 80 points on Boston College.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll do. All right, I'll tell you like I've told the dumb hillbillies who've been posting on my Facebook wall today. Tell me about the last time this gimmick-type offense that basically came from Mike Leach actually won a national title. Tell me about that, and then we'll talk about maybe putting it on a national brand like Clemson. Until then,
let's don't talk shit about a dead guy first of all, okay?
First of all, I'll talk about Mike Leach would appreciate that, by the way.
Second of all, hey, well then there's nothing wrong with it. That maybe you guys can be the first ones to win a national title with it. Maybe you could level up and go 1-1. Tennessee is 1-1. Tennessee, look, can I say something there? Tennessee is 1-1 against the Gamecocks running a gimmick offense. So you guys could beat the Gamecocks this year with it and level up, and then Gamecocks would be possibly 2-2, maybe 1-3 against the gimmick offense if they drop a game at Tennessee. So,
this conversation is so stupid. I'm not even going to entertain it anymore. I'm just going to go back to the same thing that I've said for years and years and years, especially doing this podcast. For you South Carolina fans, November's coming, and rents.
Well, I mean, it was. So I heard last year. November's pretty damn nice.
I let you speak, sir. And in November, rent is done. Rent is due. We're going to take back what is rightfully ours anyway in that shithole of a stadium you play in down there on Bluff Road. So I'm not going to say anything.
They're leveling that up too. Papa B's coming at you pretty hard. He's coming in with both feet on fire. It says to leave the dead men out of it, and he says that's trash. I agree. It is.
How's that trash? How's that trash? It's the legacy of having what some people think is a world-changing offense.
Well, you've bemoaned that offense for close to a year now, and then you associate him with it. So, the connotation is that you're talking shit about a dead man.
I'm not. Well, that's fine. If you're so silly that you believe that, then I really can't help you.
Well, I don't. It's not what I believe. I mean, it's just. That's perception. Is sometimes it's reality.
Gimmick. There you go.
Rob?
Thank you for that. Some people are understanding it. Anyway,
Visor says Georgia shut that shit down in 5 minutes. What do you subscribe to the theory? There are a lot of Tennessee fans out there, and I've seen it on message board. I've seen it everywhere. Honestly, I saw it a lot. Like the week after the loss to Georgia happened, they sat here trying to explain it away. And then the next week, they kind of went into a mode of, Josh Heupel's the master chess player here. He's not playing checkers. He most likely threw that game on purpose because he knows that we're going to beat South Carolina, we're going to beat Vandy, and we're going to beat Mizzou, and we're going to have an easy waltz into the playoffs. You subscribe to that fact? You subscribe to that?
No. If it's coming from a Tennessee fan, it's probably not very smart. So all I know is that Georgia lined up with them, and even South Carolina lined up with them. When you have cornerbacks that can press their receivers and you don't have to sit in some fucking zone, you're going to beat them. Just a lot of teams don't have the kind of defensive backs that South Carolina had or Georgia had. Simple as that. You have that.
South Carolina did have some decent defensive backs last year, and I'm kind of concerned about that a little bit. I mean, they've done pretty well leveling that up with some recruiting. We do have a good secondary coach there, Torian Gray, and Clayton White, the DC, who is I don't know what everybody's thoughts is on him. I would give him a solid C+ through 2 years.
You weren't very high on him towards the end of the season.
Well, the defensive backs, that the back four has been pretty good the past couple of years. The front seven, not so much. And the linebacker situation, that was kind of marred with some injuries last year. But still, not very good.
Could you make an argument, Jackpot, that he built that defense as far as the back end of it off the back of Will Muschamp with the players that he brought in? Is that fair?
You could agree with that. You could agree with that. I mean, we talk about washing the Will Muschamp stench off of the program, and I mean, yes, it is the stench, but he left some pieces behind. Okay, he left some pieces behind that weren't totally stained up. You just had to wipe a little bit of shit off of them and polish them up a little bit. Anything Will Muschamp touches and he keeps his finger on for more than 5 minutes, most likely turns to shit. So I don't think he had a lot of influence over those young men, although he did bring them into Columbia. Now we're going to start to see what the Shane Beamer recruits, what the Torian Gray and Clayton White recruits, what the Justin Stepp recruits, what these kids are made of here in the next couple of years, because that's going to start. The Muschamp kids that start slowly. I don't know how many are left on the roster. It's like a lot. It's going to be their team pretty soon. So,
Rob has an SEC bias. Says Torian Gray has to be the best position coach in the country at the moment with the players he's able to develop. You know what? I can agree with you on that. I think that he's a hell of an assistant coach that you may have to worry about at the end of the season. If this Gamecock secondary comes in and they play, I don't think it's going to be fair to ask them to play to the level that last year's secondary played. But if they play to a level that is above average, then you're going to have some looks like, hey, maybe this guy's going to go somewhere else and be a DC or maybe even a head coach somewhere. It's really not that far-fetched.
Yeah. Over in the comment section, B2B Visor, formerly Kirby's Visor, says Carolina Jackpot. Gunnar Stockton says, hey, tell him I said hey too. And James Thompson, 1969 ACC champs, and ACC, SEC, does it matter? You're shit. Okay, well, 3130 says, hey, James. So right now we're the shit. We're the shit. Not shit. We're the shit.
Bluegrass
At least
Sports
around
Media.
these parts.
Bluegrass Sports Media on Wednesday's show said that Kentucky was winning the SEC title, but they can't beat Vanderbilt. I don't know how that happened, but he says, I'm in need of a DNA professional. I think I've found out his dad, and it's Vanderbilt. Yeah, well, I think that Kentucky has to have a conversation with themselves about, do we want to keep John Calipari here? And it's not Kentucky. I think that everyone will agree is one of those big, huge jobs that everyone should want. And Calipari's not getting it done. He's really not. So there's that.
He just doesn't seem to me. I don't know how to put this. He doesn't seem to me to be the kind of guy who loves developing young kids into something, and someone who seems to be vested in that university and who loves it. He just seems to be the type of individual who's out for, money, fame, and, whatever he can get out of it. And I mean, in a certain way, and I don't like to trash him because I thought a lot of him in some ways. It's kind of like it's almost like a Steve Spurrier,
I always got the vibe that the players love Steve Spurrier, and even the kids that weren't, look, Steve Spurrier won a shit ton of games at South Carolina with Connor Shaw as his quarterback, probably the best quarterback in the history of the school, but it's not like people outside of our region know who the hell Connor Shaw is. I think that with Calipari, he wants guys that are first-round draft picks, and he wants to treat them like they're pros at 18 and then have them there for a year and then have them go about their merry way. Big Barney Ross says the one-eyed Jacks, Rick Pitino's Iona Gales will set a couple of teams in the tournament. Yeah, there's that.
Is Iona that team that's got that old woman?
No, Patino's the old woman on the sideline.
No, somebody's got an old woman sitting over there.
No, are you talking about the maid, the nun, the old lady? That's from Illinois, Chicago. Sister Mary Jean, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know I was talking about.
No, she was like the team chaplain,
member of the cloth or something. Sorry.
Yeah, we're not gonna mock the nun.
First time I saw her, I thought it was Marge Schott. You remember her? the one that owned the Cincinnati Reds. She was racist or something, wasn't she?
God damn, yeah.
Was she right? She had a dog or something. She forced the players to, I don't know, kiss the dog or something. She had.
I heard that, and this is just rumor, sir, just rumor, that Big Barney Ross has a Marge Schott T-shirt. Would not surprise me. Would not surprise me in the least. All right, let's get out to the phones. By the way, a quick thing on the Clemson basketball season here, really quick. First of all, there are people that I posted something about Clemson could win the ACC championship. Yes. And people and not just Jackpot, but there's a good section of folks that were like, well, you bash Brad Brownell all the time. Yes. Clemson basketball and Brad Brownell are two entirely different things. Clemson hoops will continue to go on when Brad Brownell is the next coach at your high school in Arkansas. Okay. You seriously, it's the whole thing is that I'm going to support the Paul regardless.
Why'd you have to send him to Arkansas?
Because Arkansas is a shithole. I mean, we could say what high school did you go to, Cale?
Yeah, okay.
At Wade Hampton High School. When he's the next head coach at Wade Hampton High School, or wherever the hell it is, Cale went.
They got a pretty good basketball program, or they did.
Probably. He'd probably be the video coordinator there at Wade Hampton. But here's the thing. His teams this season, he had some good players. Hunter Tyson's a good player. You of course PJ Hall, who I've talked with
The
folks.
kid who had the exploding testicles is a good player.
He's a good player too, but Kerry Rich, who former Gamecock, who is on the Gamecock basketball staff, told me that PJ Hall, in his words, is going to be a problem. Means that they're going to have some issues, people trying to guard him, and he's been a good player. But Brownell has let some guys leave. Nick Honor is playing meaningful minutes for a Missouri basketball team that was the shits last year, and they're in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it was very refreshing to see him dribble out the last few seconds against Tennessee. I think it was on Friday night.
Tennessee loss is a win for America. Tom Lipton says PJ Hall is coming here. I don't know what you're talking about, Tom, but I don't know. He's not transferring. It's not happening. But
he said that.
Tom in Facebook said PJ Hall is coming here. So
coming here. Where's here?
I don't know. I don't know where here is. Could be Arkansas for all we know.
Oh, maybe South Carolina.
At that juncture, I would not be surprised. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see here. Rob has an SEC bias, says Hall is way too small to be a problem versus any competent bigs. Sir, he is 6'10", 255 pounds. Do you have to be much bigger than that? Know the game, sir. Know the game. 6'10", 255 is a big guy. So there's that.
Who's that big goofy kid for Clemson that plays? I don't know if he's. I guess is he a center or is he a power forward? They
do have a center. Hold on, let's see here.
The big goofy kid with the Peter Brady haircut.
You talking about this guy, Ian Schifflin, that guy?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So there's another guy. He's 6'7", 230. He does all kind of stuff. If you think he's 6'5", sir, then you're completely out of your gourd. He's a legit 6'10".
He seems kind of soft.
Hall is a big boy. Anyway,
he's kind of satin panty soft.
Here's the big thing though with all that. Well, I mean, he was so soft that Frank Martin was pissed when he didn't go to South Carolina. But
Frank Martin didn't know what he was doing. He got fired. So I mean, there you go.
You would love. I guarantee you that Frank Martin, with his team that he would have had coming back this year, would have made the tournament. With G.G. Jackson,
the SEC tournament? Yeah.
They would have made the damn comp. They would have made the damn. They wouldn't have finished. What'd you guys win? 10 games?
11.
11. Yeah, that's big. Here's the biggest thing about
Georgia.
Your big thing was keeping Clemson out of the tournament. Clemson had 2 losses on the season that kept them out of the tournament. They lost to a Louisville team that was one of the worst Louisville teams in history. In the history of the program. I think they won 5 games, 6 games on the season.
That probably was the worst.
Probably the worst. They're so bad, Jim Cornette was making comments about them. And Jim Cornette doesn't leave his house.
Jim Cornette doesn't even do sports. So
exactly. And he made comments about the Louisville basketball team. And South Carolina, which was a shit team this year. Gamecock fans can run their mouths all they want. The biggest win they had this year, I guess, 2, beating Kentucky with old cheating Calipari, and then beating Clemson. That was your big wins on the season. So there's that.
We had another road win. We beat somebody else on the road that was decent.
Was it Mississippi State?
Yeah, Mississippi State. That was a decent win. Yeah.
Billy says
we beat 2 tournament teams.
Yeah. He says, didn't Clemson beat NC State 3 times? Yeah.
That's the first but they lost to shit teams, sir. You lose to the old. They lost to the old Marge Shot team too, right?
Who?
Clemson.
They lost to Louisville. They lost to South Carolina.
They lost to Boston College too. That was a pretty crappy loss.
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up because Big Barney Ross will be sure to tell us that Boston College is overrated. So
they are, and I mean you know.
Yeah. So Anyway, if you're a Clemson fan and you're upset by that, every year there are losses that are like this. Every year. You have more talent than those three teams. You have no business losing to those three teams.
Did y'all lose to the Loyola with the old woman, or did you lose to the other?
No, I think they lost to Loyola too. But I mean, that's not as bad of a loss as the Louisville loss.
Yeah,
the Louisville loss.
Was it the Louisville? Was it Loyola with the old woman, or was it the one in Maryland? There's another Loyola.
Hold on, I'll pick it up.
And there's also Loyola Marymount.
Okay, well, I'm thinking Loyola of Chicago. That's who was there. Hold on, I'm going to tell you right now. So let's see here. Clemson lost to. They finished the season 23-10. Lost to South Carolina. Lost to Iowa, who ended up being a team that's in the tournament. They beat Penn State, who I believe is in the tournament. They lost to Loyola Chicago by 18. They lost they lost to Wake Forest by 10. Boston College by 8. Miami, that's not a bad loss. North Carolina's not a bad loss. They lost to Louisville by 10.
North Carolina didn't make the tournament. That's not a great loss.
They lost to no, we never win there in the Dean Dome. 64-57, they lost to Virginia. And then they lost to Virginia twice in a matter of like 10 days. But it's one of those things where I can't understand why Clemson fans are upset. People saying, hey, Clemson belonged in the tournament. Just because NC State's there doesn't mean that you're there. I think NC State had like 8 losses on the season, and the worst losses were probably to that Clemson team. So
Uncle Lou says he's celebrating his slob title in Cherokee. It's a rough life, Wheatley. Hey, have fun. Don't you wear that damn white Tonto suit up there. They might kick your ass out, and maybe even worse than that. May do things to you before they kick you out.
803-470-2905. If he wears that white Tonto suit up there, he's going to come back looking like a used tampon. Anyway, 803-470-2905.
White Tonto
2905. That's the number to call if you'd like to join the program here as we roll on this evening.
They're going up that way. He's in the mountains. I'm actually headed up to the hills on Friday morning, celebrating 10 years, 10th anniversary. So we're going to go spend a few days up in the hills up there in the Pigeon Forge area, and
there you go.
May venture up to Kentucky. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
All right, let's go to the phones. And welcome to the program. Good evening.
What's up, ladies?
Hey, I thought you died. I mean, we haven't heard from you in forever. I thought that you were like, you just decided one day it hurts to pee, so I'm just going to go in the swamp and just die. That's what I thought happened to you.
Well crafted, sir. Bravo. You got time for a quick public service announcement? This is something that's kind of been on my heart. It's been on my heart since I turned the show on. For some of your younger viewers who don't understand how important it is to never, ever, ever use lead-based paint on a baby crib, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Rob Sanders. Rob,
sure.
You've got to be the dumbest son of a bitch on YouTube.
Huh?
Do you realize the egg that is on your face right now?
For what?
All we heard all football long was gimmick. Well, it appears that Clemson is now going to mimic the gimmick. Get used to that term, Rob. You're going to hear it all summer long.
That's not.
Do you think that's kind of a?
Said, but okay.
Yeah, it pretty much is. It pretty much is.
Are we just making up things now? Do I need to pull the quote, sir? Do I need to pull the quote that he said? I can pull the
mimic
quote.
Offense.
Okay.
Mimic offense in Clemson.
Sure.
Mimic.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you think that's kind of the old adage? If we can't beat them, join them. since you did lose to Tennessee? Is that
that's a point. That's a point. That's a point. I like this guy. I like this guy.
Hey,
well,
do you and Peg and Megan want to just sit around and scissor each other? We can set that up. Shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah. Good luck with that offense, that mimic offense. I hope you twat waffles don't plan on meeting at the Paw very often this year, Rob. I really do. I don't think
do that when they lose, so
it's going to be one hell of yeah.
It's a Clemson tradition.
Jackpot. How many wins do you see on Clemson's schedule this year, Jackpot?
Sight unseen, not being in front of me, I say 10.
Oh,
Jackpot.
Yeah, he said
that includes the Jockstrap Bowl.
Okay, I can't hear him for some reason.
Oh, for some reason he can't hear you, but he said 10 wins, sir. That's what he said.
10 wins in the ACC. Well,
that includes the Jockstrap Bowl.
What about you, Rob? What are you looking at this year? What's your prediction?
I haven't made my prediction yet, but it's probably going to be in the 10-win range.
10 wins. Wow.
Yep.
Playoff bound?
I don't know if they're going to be in the playoffs or not because I'm still not sure on the receiving core.
Okay. Well, guys, I got to go polish a second ring here, so I got to run. See you.
All right, man. Appreciate you joining.
Good night.
Yeah. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. That is the number to dial if you'd like to join the program this evening. We can get into that too, Jackpot, if that's the way that you want to go, but I don't know, man, to be honest with you. At this juncture, it's hard to sit here and say, okay, they're going to have X amount of wins, but it's not going to have not the type of offense, but put up the type of offensive numbers. I don't know why people don't get that. But anyway, whatever it is you need.
He said we're going to look a lot like Tennessee. That's what your quarterbacks. That's what the face of your programs.
Well, he may not be the starting quarterback. Who knows at this point? Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hey, what's up, Rob? Jackpot, what's going on tonight?
How you doing?
What's up?
I'm doing okay. That last caller kind of a dipshit, if you ask me. There's a difference between a gimmick offense and a mimic offense, and apparently he didn't know what he's talking about.
No, he's mimic.
Little Lincoln's offense. Y'all didn't go out and specifically hire an OC to try to copy what Tennessee's done, which is nothing but run fast. And with the new rule change, everybody's going to be running fast. So he needs to get his facts right before he just starts running his fucking mouth. All right, brother. Y'all have a good evening.
Okay.
Imagine that. I wasn't. That I think that whole conversation went over his head. Mimic the gimmick means you're gonna do the gimmick as well. You're gonna do, but
anyway. All right. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905. Let's go back out to the phones. And welcome to the program. Good evening.
Hey, what's up? I just wanted to talk about something that I haven't really heard people, mention since the whole Cade Klubnik taking over.
Sure.
What happens? What do you think happens if he unfortunately gets injured? I mean, y'all really don't have much depth under him. Kind of feel like the season is really riding on.
Well,
Go ahead.
Look, with Klubnik, I'm probably one of the few Clemson folks that'll tell you he hasn't really proven himself yet. Sorry. So the idea of that being him being the program's savior, I don't know if I'm completely buying that or not. So
who's sitting behind him? Because it seems like it's really Cade or bust at the moment for the future of y'all's program.
They've got a young man whose name that I cannot pronounce. Vivin Zuna, I believe is his name.
Oh yeah, that freshman kid. Okay.
Yeah, that's the guy that they're going to they say that is supposed to be the next thing, and I don't know if that's necessarily true or not.
Christopher, is he? It sound like my last name rhymes with pizza.
Can get together. It kind of seemed like he was the moment was a little bit too big for him in the bowl game. At least he tore up North Carolina though, so you gotta give him that. But
everybody tore up North
he's
Carolina,
just got to work
sir.
through something.
Everybody tore up North Carolina, sir. North Carolina was terrible.
True.
So there's that.
Well, where do you see Clemson finishing up? I think honestly, with a strong Florida State, that could hinder y'all in the future because y'all really don't have much recruiting competition in the ACC. So how do you see Florida State getting better and better impacting Clemson in the future?
I think that the ACC, when they went to the whole expansion thing, they were thinking Florida State and Miami were going to be their two pearls. They were going to be the Georgia and Alabama of the conference. That's what the folks that were at the head of the ACC were thinking back then. They were just hoping to continue to dwell on the money that they thought that the Duke North Carolina basketball series would continue to bring them. And then they thought, all right, football, we need this. So we'll go and grab these folks. So Florida State's been off for a while. I don't know if I'm really sold on Norvell yet. It seems like he goes out and finds some players in the transfer portal. We'll give him that. He was able to turn a couple of guys that we thought were the shits into pretty decent players. So we'll see on Florida State. We'll see. That's pretty much how it rolls.
All right. And for Jackpot, congratulations on the anniversary coming up. That's big, man. I'm glad to hear that for you.
Well, thank you. She puts up with a lot.
It was your anniversary, right? I can't hear him if he's talking.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on his sound over there. Anyway, yeah, thank you for that. So
all right,
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I hope y'all have a good evening. Y'all take care.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah, Jackpot. It's interesting that we've got the whole setup with the stuff that's going on with Clemson there. And I mean, I don't know where to put them, to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do. And I excuse me. To all this talk about Florida State leveling up and being a contender, can y'all hear me? I mean, because
yeah. I think something's silly with the internet. I'm working on it right now, but let's see here. Let's try that. All right. Anyway,
all this talk about Florida State leveling up and being a playoff contender. Some slapdick had them in the top 4 of his preseason poll, and I'm just like, that's just fucking garbage. I mean, what have they done? Please tell me what they have done to warrant that kind of ranking. Nothing. You have to have done something to be placed that high in a preseason ranking. I know preseason rankings mean nothing, but that's just dumb journalism.
To put them up that high is what you're saying?
Yes. I mean, what have they done? What have they done to deserve that? Yeah, I could see maybe if they had beaten a Clemson last year, or maybe if they had beaten anybody there that they lost to right there in the middle of the meat of their schedule, the 3 best teams they played, they lost to them. I mean, come on. I mean, this guy goes out and, I mean, he gets players out of the transfer portal, which is great, and he makes something out of them, which is great. And he made his in-state rival. Well, what? He's basically Shane Beamer, isn't he?
You think he's Shane Beamer? You think that's where Mike Norvell is?
He is. He's imitating Shane Beamer, getting players out of the transfer portal and beating his in-state rival. There you go. Okay, but it's on a serious note. Them beating Clemson, I'll believe it when I see it. I don't believe in them. I think they're overrated, and I think it's going to bear itself out. I think they're going to beat LSU week 1. I think that they have a rude awakening coming there, but it's just me.
Well, we'll have to see about that. I don't really know for sure on that front, to be honest with you. It's one of those things where, things could be different. I don't know. It's
SEC dog says deeble dobble do. Dabo Swinney in desperate times, in my opinion.
Yeah. I hear you on that. All right, Jackpot. Well, do you have are you liking Charleston and Furman in the tournament?
Charleston's first round matchup is against, they're a 12 seed. Yeah.
Yeah, they're a 12 seed.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Who are they playing? I saw it earlier.
Charleston's playing, I know Furman has
Virginia.
Virginia. Charleston Southern has, hold on, I've got the whole.
So Furman may have to be the school from the state of South Carolina to actually beat Virginia, since some folks that have, two chances can't do it.
That may be true, man. May be true. I'm looking at the bracket here, Jackpot. Let's see here.
San Diego State's pesky poll says.
Yeah.
Don't really know how good San Diego State is. I haven't watched a ton of Aztec hoops this year, so that one kind of has to by. But watch out for them. They're a good team, well coached. Chucktown could definitely pull off a 5-12 upset. Anybody could pull off a 5-12 upset. Those are pretty common. Furman knocking off Virginia, that's going to be a tall order. But it could happen.
It could.
Pesky poll over in the comment section asks something that I didn't really think about, but it's a fair question. Is Clemson going to checkerboard end zones?
God damn it. You guys are hilarious with all that. I don't see that happening either. So there you go with that. I don't know for sure. We shall see on that front. I'm gonna refresh my connection here. Hold on one second.
Don't know where he went to, guys. Just disappeared on me. They're gonna mimic end zones, basically the same team. They're gonna turn their helmets white, put a big C on the side of it. Everyone like the Gamecock rear end in my picture right there. It's nice, isn't it? It's a nice looking rear end. Behind me, I don't know if anyone can even hear me or not. I don't know what the hell he's got going on with his internet there. We always seem to have something jacked up. But this is the flag that I got from Hoghead over at the Slav Olympics. That was part of my my little gifty package. And it's a nice wall flag too. I mean, it's a good 6 feet. It's a good 6x4, I guess.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That doesn't look bad. I like it.
Thank you.
So, all right. Well, let me see here.
He answered some of the questions in the comment section. Are we going to go against the spread with Jackpot for March Madness? No. We're. How does that work? Tell them how it works again.
Yeah, it's just like a regular bracket. You just pick your regular bracket. That's pretty much what it boils down to, just like you normally would.
We have some people asking in there too. Can you explain to them also how you enter the contest?
So the link is in the description, and you just follow the link, and you'll be good to go. I mean, it's not that far fetched. I'll click the link. Right now. We'll go that route. How's that?
Yeah, you have to. If you don't have one, you have to create a little account with ESPN, get your username and get your password, get all that good stuff set up, and then we're doing it. It's their form, it's their format, so it's really easy to do. Okay,
so
it's not going to be.
I'll show you right now, Jackpot. All right, so there you go. You go to robandkaleshow.com. There's the bracket challenge, and you can all enter there. Just sign up to enter the group directly from robandkaleshow.com, and it'll be good to go. It's easy. Real simple, right, Jackpot?
Mm-hmm.
Now.
Big Barney Ross says, which pick will be the Kell Hall shitter? I don't know.
When does
Probably one of
Kentucky
those.
play?
Probably one of those 1 seed versus those 16 seed playoff playing games. I saw somebody that's a 1 seed is playing the number 16 playing game between, I think it was SEMO, which is the Southeast Missouri State Redbirds, and someone else. So that might be the shitter.
Might be. 803-470-2905. 803-470-2905.
The Nature Boy said 80s NWA was better than WWF. What say you, Jackpot? Oh, without question.
Yeah. It's $20 to enter.
Without
so
question. I mean, it's not even close. Not even close.
Beth Webb won this thing last year and took home the bacon. It was like right at $1,000, I think is what it was. Something like that. I mean, it was a ton of money. So get your shit together. Link is in the description. Oh, Jackpot. The thing, did you send me this yesterday or was it someone else? The guy that the umpire that lost his shit and at the I can't remember who sent it to me, but he basically made such a bad call that they fired him. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Hold on, I'll play it for you right now because if you haven't seen it yet, this is worth your while. We'll play this on for the listeners here. All right, so this guy apparently didn't like what was coming. And I'll show you. That was really hard. I wish I give credit who sent this to me. I don't remember who it was, but it was pretty. So this here, which you can there. Hopefully it'll load up here. All right. No, it's making me do that. Don't do it that way. Play it over here. Dumb. All right, watch this, Jack.
It's a gamble to take in the one call there. Oh my! Mims is showing where 1-2 coming. It's down. Oh my gosh! Wow! He got rung up on ball 2, and the game is over. It's a
It was like 1.5 foot outside, Jackpot, and he called him out. That guy's been suspended. It's a mess, absolute mess. You ever had a call or something like that? It was in the Southland Conference, New Orleans, and some other team. It was the shits. It really was.
Papa B said that Southland Conference official has already been hired by Alabama.
Papa B might be correct. Mississippi Valley State. Thank you, Megan. Yeah. What?
I mean, is it now pretty clear why that fucker wasn't suspended from the team? I mean, he's freaking amazing. I mean, he's the whole damn team. If you ask me, they wouldn't have made it. I mean, they probably wouldn't have won 10 games this year.
Are we talking about Alabama with their player?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought we were talking about the baseball call. Look, my whole thing with that is I think that should have been handled a little bit differently. But on the other hand, I mean, the DA says they don't have anything, but it just doesn't seem right. Should have done something. But I don't know. What a mess. And see, it's not like, hey, you can use the argument of some kid gets caught with pot or whatever. Fine. But in the end, it's like someone actually died. This is actual human life. It's not you smoking pot in the bathroom with your friends. So there's that.
Papa B says the girl's parents don't want him to play. Well, unfortunately, Papa B, they don't have a say-so in this. And unfortunately, they didn't have a say so in whether she lived or not, which is really sad.
Nick Saban said this at one point about a player, that he wasn't going to punish a player just to have, just to appease the social media world or the fan world. He wasn't going to do that.
Roll Tide. So would you take someone off the team that never had charges brought against him? Yeah. Would the sixth man, let's ask you this, Rob, let's be fair. Is that a fair point? If Brandon Miller was the sixth man, do you think he'd still be playing basketball right now?
I think that there's a level of stardom with that kid, but I don't know. I mean, we could sit here and we can make up shit all day long, but in the end, it doesn't look right. But on the other hand, with what Roll Tide's saying over there, never had charges brought against him. And that's a very, very valid argument. But still, all of that just seems I think the thing that pissed me off the most was the whole pat down ceremony where he comes out and they're patting him down like he's some kind of a thug or whatever. And it's like, you know what, dude? There are young men that are getting shot in front of their houses. Because
they're all saying it's not right, and it's just facts. To me, it looks like the facts are presented, and they were all guilty of sin. And it looks to me like the district attorney down there, from the police officers, from the judicial system, and all of it's probably damn corrupt. If you want to know the truth.
Megan says Cam Newton never had any charges either. How do Alabama fans feel about him? Yeah, and that's fair, but the whole pat down thing just really, really bothered.
Making a joke out, making a mockery out of some girl dying, that's just fucked up. And that's fucked up. You can do that in 2023 and get away with it and still play basketball and run around and do your thing and everything else. But you make one off-color joke, or you say make some kind of reference, or you make fun of a gay person or anything else, but boy, you're going up the river.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing, is that
you're getting canceled.
Came out wrong. Just came out completely wrong. But and I think that says a lot about the kid's character, that if you knew that you gave a gun to someone and someone ended up dying, do you think that you would have the satchel to sit there and say, hey, I'm going to do this whole thing where I'm going to try to look like a thug when I go on the basketball court? I don't think that's a good look at all.
Max Todd, who we've never heard from over here before, but he says Cam got kicked off the Florida team for beating Tim Tebow's ass in the locker room from a very reliable source. That's interesting.
Hold on. And I've got to correct SEC Dog here. No football player ever gets arrested at Bama, and they laugh at states that actually have law and order. Think about it. I mean, one of the other basketball players on the team is the guy that shot the girl, and he's sitting in a box in Alabama right now. So to say that is silly, to say the least. So I don't know. Roll Tide says that you need to make the same reference to convenience stores that sell alcohol where drunk drivers kill people. What? Oh goodness, sir. I understand that he's an Alabama player.
Well, there's a level of responsibility that goes with that alcohol that's being sold in the convenience store. Is not party to uphold that standard of the care of that alcohol once it leaves there.
Jake's in 5 Points down here in Columbia. They were sued because they gave someone some alcohol that apparently they had too much. They left and ended up killing somebody. They were sued and they had to pay. The court in South Carolina awarded them money. So that kind of shoots your argument to shit there, sir. The way that is. So 803-470-2905, 803-470-2905. I disagree with you on that. So Big Barney Ross says the ATF must stand for automatic transmission fluid in Alabama.
Doesn't it everywhere though?
Just saying the thing that turned me off with that kid is has he even made an apology yet? Like where he stood in front of the reporters and did 10 minutes where it wasn't very comfortable for him, but he goes in front of those reporters and says, you know what? I am sorry for what happened. I'm praying for the family, whatever. You take some questions from the reporters and then the next day this is over with because it's not a story anymore after that. It's not a story anymore after that.
Roll Tide says, all I'm saying is the guy wasn't arrested. Oh, I mean,
yeah.
Okay, whatever.
He wasn't, but there was some stuff that happened that looked kind of shitty.
Watch Alabama. Watch when Alabama gets bounced out of the tournament. Watch some new evidence be brought to the table, and watch him arrest his ass.
Well, and see, maybe there is kind of a hindrance down in Alabama about stuff getting out about their athletes. It's awful funny that Carter at Georgia, the stuff that came out about him comes out the day that he's supposed to be at the NFL Combine. That's fucking weird, right? They knew that shit a month ago, but we're going to release it the day that he's supposed to go in front of the Combine and, get his draft stock measured. What a mess.
Did you see, Rob, did you see where the Panthers traded up this deal with the Bears? It seems like they gave up an awful lot there.
Yeah, they gave up like 2 first-round picks this year, pick number 9, pick number 61, one of their wide receivers, and a couple of second-round picks. But there's also talk that they're willing to trade back down. Have you heard that? Where it's like, yeah, we moved up to number 1, but if we can move down to number 3, I don't think there's a game-changing quarterback in the NFL draft this year. You don't have what I think is the absolute best player there to risk the fortune of your franchise at the number.
You don't have you certainly you don't have. Well, I mean, I don't know. You don't think Will Levis is comparable to Trevor Lawrence?
Get the fuck out of here.
Well, they
Will
sure seem to think
milk,
he's pushing his ass up the down up the thing there because he can jump high. I don't know.
Who put out there that Will Levis is in the same realm as Trevor Lawrence?
I'm just going off. For the past year, they put him on. At one point, he was the number 1 overall draft pick there, according to the Mel Kiper mock big board or whatever they call it. And I'm just like, what? And it's the same thing with this. What's this jamoke from Florida? What's his damn name? Anthony Richardson. I mean, it's the same thing with him. I mean, they're like, oh, well, they've got the measurables, they've got the talent. My thing is, these people they didn't do anything in college. They didn't do anything in college to make you think that they're going to be good at football in the NFL. They just, and I guess the whole connotation is with the measurables and with the arm strength and with this and that is that, if they, maybe they didn't have the right coaching in college to get them developed properly, but when they get in the NFL, maybe they can get that from them. I don't know, but they didn't do anything in college to warrant that high of a draft stock. Now Bryce Young did, CJ Stroud did. Right. Those guys won at a high level. Bryce Young won the Heisman Trophy. So I can see a little bit of hype surrounding those guys. But the others, give me a break. To me, Max Duggan is, they have him ranked as like the number 7. To me, Stetson Bennett to me is a better NFL prospect than Anthony Richardson. I mean, do you agree with that? I mean,
I mean, if we're going on what he did in college, then yes. But there's also going to be the people that say that he had all of the things that you could possibly need that Richardson just didn't have. But someone asked about, why would you trade down from 1 to number 3? Well, if you can get the number 3 pick and think that you're going to get the same player that you want and pick up another pick at pick number 55, then to ease the pick where you gave up that other pick. That's why they would do that. So let's read Roll Tide's comment here. This is going to be great.
He just keeps on bumping his gums, and we've moved on from that. But at any rate,
I'm going to read his comment. He says, I think people from South Carolina really don't have a lot of room to talk when it comes to a flawed judicial system. See Alex Murdaugh. Maybe not a football player. He did play at South Carolina, but the judicial system nonetheless. Well, he made the team. He was in the team picture.
He was on the team about like the Comrade was.
Okay, so Comrade is the Murdaugh of his era. Got it.
Yeah, in essence, and that's the only similarity. Let's make that clear.
But, what a mess.
Okay, well, then it took a South Carolina. That was a South Carolina judge, a South Carolina jury, and a South Carolina judicial system that sentenced him to like 7 life terms. So, what I mean,
Big Barney Ross says if you put
is our judicial system flawed because he was an attorney and he murdered his family? That don't compute.
Big Barney Ross says if you put Will Levis on Ohio State's team, Georgia still wins by a missed field goal. Pagan Megan says, I look like Murdaugh. No, sir, I don't. Brandon says the Clemson women made the WNIT. Great. That's some much-watched television there. The NIT.
We both look like murderers. Hey, you look like Murdaugh. I've often been told I look like John Wayne Gacy.
Nobody has said that to you.
Not the late version right before he got executed. More the 70s version when he was painted up like a clown.
Really?
No, just kidding.
Papa B wants to know how far we are from Moselle. I don't know. I think I'm like an hour and a half.
From where?
Moselle. That's where Murdaugh is from. He's from Hampton County, basically.
I've never heard of that. Is that?
Let's call Moselle where he's at. I don't know.
That's not a real town. It's not an incorporated city.
Hold on. I don't know. It may be. I'm not trying to piss on you here, Jackpot. Moselle, South Carolina. Let's see if that's in the old Google machine here. Do they have a post office? Moselle. No, it says Moselle, South Carolina. It's in Colleton County, bordering the banks of the Salkehatchie River. Yeah. I don't think Jackpot may be right. Maybe I wonder if there's a post office. Hold on. Do they have a post office?
I don't know.
There's one in McBee, so no. Moselle does not have a post office.
Only towns I know of in Colleton County is Walterboro, maybe Cottageville. Is that in Colleton County?
Here we go. Roll Tide says, we're out of touch with the atrocities he and his family have performed over the last 20 to 30 years that have been swept under the rug. Sir, let me tell you a little bit about South Carolina, okay? You've got Greenville, you've got Columbia, you've got Charleston, you've got Myrtle Beach, and you've got Hilton Head. All of those are pretty decent sized towns, okay? But if you go 15 miles as the bird flies outside of Columbia, you're going to go into a rural shithole where a lot of people don't even have fucking internet. So it's a completely different world. You probably know that about Alabama too, because it's kind of the same thing. All right. There's shit that goes on down there that a lot of people just don't know about. Now, things like the internet are making it a little bit different now, but it's a completely different world. It really, really is. So to sit here and say that we're out of touch, no one was in touch. Like the town that they live in was tiny as fuck. So it's not an excuse, sir. It's hard to stay in touch with communities that, first of all, are 2 hours from where I live. And I don't know any, the people that were down there were crowing about it. The law enforcement division, they were trying to investigate, But I mean, what exactly would you have me do, sir? Am I supposed to just sit up here with my sign and write a sign that pickets everything that happens in every backwater shithole town? Not much I can do about that, man.
There's some weirdos in South Carolina too, and I don't know, and I don't, this is veering off of the topic of sports, and I don't know if you all in the comment section have been through there before, but in the city of Camden, South Carolina, right? Right, you exit off I-20, and if you're going through Camden, they've got a decent size and a halfway nice little downtown there, and there's a guy, like this old guy, that walks up and down this one street corner there, and I've watched him before, and I've seen him several times. And this was back when I was working for Roses, and I was coming home that way on Fridays, and I would stop. Sometimes I would go into Camden and find something to eat or just whatever. It was just a good stopping point for me, coming from the Big L back over this way. But some old guy, and I don't know if he leans extreme right or extreme left. I'm really not sure, but he's freaking weird as shit. And I saw him one day. He had like this plastic ball and chain on his ankle, and he was dressed up like an old style prisoner, the black and white stripes here, and he was carrying just like a picture of Joe Biden around, and he's just dragging this ball and chain up and down the street. And then I saw him another day. I saw him with he had a cardboard hypodermic needle sticking in his arm, and had like the blood, like fake blood, all over this white t-shirt. And I'm like, what in the world are you doing? And what are you trying to demonstrate here? And he was carrying some sign around. I don't know if anybody's ever seen this individual before, but yeah, we got some strange folks.
Well, and there's strange people everywhere, but it's the whole Murdaugh thing brought shame upon our state. And I'd like to think that a lot of that good old boy system is going away, but in reality, it's not. I mean, it comes down to who you know and how much money you make and what circles you run in. It's pretty much, I think that's the way it is in every.
I run in a circle jerk.
Everywhere. I thought you were the pivot man.
Yeah, the wheel man. I wanted to do I wanted to pull one of the things I did in high school and just roll the window down and yell at him, "Go get a job!" But I didn't.
He probably has a job. Who knows? Do you have a pick that you like that's going to upset some teams in the tournament?
Hey, I don't know. I'd have to look at the bracket. So if you could flash that up there real quick, or if you can.
Yeah, I can. The bracket. Let me pull it up here. Here we go. Yeah, we can do that. Let's see here. Just give you a couple as you're getting set up with the Callaway's challenge here. Let's see here. Window. Oh, nope, not that one. That one. All right. There you go. Let me see if I can expand this bracket here a little bit.
You enhance that with that little magnifying glass tool up there.
Yeah, there you go. So you got Alabama up top.
That's Texas A&M at Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
What are they called? The fighting.
The fighting Jimbo Fishers, of course. What do you think they're called?
The Corpus Christi edition, yeah.
Yeah, against SEMO. Maryland and West Virginia. That's interesting.
It should be a good game. They were talking about that one. I said that was going to be a tough game, like a physical game. And I was saying, a good old slobber knocker. We'll see.
Broccoli says they're racist bald guys. Who is he talking about? He's not talking about us, is he? What the hell are you talking about, Brock? SEC. What is it? Something? Oh, he's talking about the skinheads. I thought he was talking about us. What the fuck is he talking about?
I'm saying I'm not bald. I got a cap on.
State flower for West Virginia is a
satellite
dish. We've learned that on the program.
Not the direct TV kind either.
Yes,
more like the 1990s kind.
So Charleston, San Diego State, Virginia Furman. Could we have an all Palmetto State second round there in Orlando, Jackpot?
That would be interesting. I don't know that's going to happen or not, though. Like I said, I don't know a lot about Aztec basketball, but I mean, if they've got them seeded 5th, I mean, they're pretty strong. I think they've won their conference a few years in a row. But no, I think one of those teams upset somebody. And I don't necessarily know it's going to be Virginia either. I like old Furman, but I mean, Virginia, yeah, they came out really sluggish last night against Duke, really sluggish. And could never catch up. They kind of came out. It kind of reminded me of how Clemson came out against them on Friday night.
Right.
They just never could catch up. But
Virginia has the ability to do that to folks.
Yeah.
Billy Cole says Marquette is your sleeper. You know why Marquette is your sleeper? Because they have Shaka Smart, who at one point was on the Clemson basketball staff as an assistant, and we let him walk away.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's the coach of the year.
Was he there during the who did he coach under?
Under Purnell. He was under Purnell.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to Oliver Purnell?
Well, he fucked the diving coach. That's the truth.
Well, what's wrong with that? I mean, honestly.
Okay. He fucked the diving coach. They wanted to put him under.
Said diving coach married.
Well, the diving coach was married to someone. He was married to someone else. His wife said, "Look, we're leaving. If either we're leaving or this is coming to light." And he left in the dark of night, basically. And Clemson had to struggle to find a coach really quick, allegedly. So there's that. And he went to DePaul, and I think he's retired now. So
RuPaul. We had a little joke about that a few years ago. Yeah, they had a few good years where they were really good at one point, but not so much anymore.
UConn and Iona. Big Barney Ross says Iona may be the team there. Jesus. Brandon Kuhn likes to piss in my cornflakes. He says Clemson is the number 1 seed in the NIT and will play the 8th seed Morehead State. Jesus Christ.
Are they going to storm the court when they beat Morehead State on Wednesday night in that?
Jackpot, I've been kind to you this evening. There's no need. It's like I'm a puppy dog that peed on the floor and you're just rubbing my nose in it. You know that I know better. You just have to hit me in the face. Why are you doing that, Jackpot?
You wouldn't believe it or not, though. This old puppy dog over here that's laying down, he never pissed on the floor. I mean, he pissed on the floor one time and he had an accident. He couldn't hold it, but he never has been a peer. Never shit on the floor either. He's a good dog.
I'm sure he is.
That's a lot, though. I mean, that means a lot. I mean, cleaning up a mess is not fun.
Not fun. Murdaugh over and under for 10 years. I don't know. There's calls that he made to his son where he was talking about all the great picks that he made in the college football thing. And he won, what was it? The Netflix series said he won some beef stew or beef jerky and like 5 or 6, soups. So maybe he'll be all right in prison. Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, Jackpot, people have got to get involved in the Callaway's Bracket Challenge. It's very simple. All right. I'm going to, the link is in the show description. Take a minute, enter the contest. And
it's only $20. You know you're going to get there. I mean, and that stands a chance. I mean, the bigger the pot, the more people to enter, the bigger the pot gets. So,
well, I hope that SEC Dog and Roll Tide and Big Barney Ross and Papa B and James, all you guys, get into the contest. Makes it more and more fun. By the way, unpaid for spot here. Go and register. Google the Basement Bookie. That an interesting column that you would want to read. Let's just leave it at that. I can't say anything more about it. Just go read thebasementbookie.com, I think is the website. Google that. Lots of interesting back and forth with people about their bets. It's pretty funny.
SEC Dog says no, don't take it out of context, but he thinks he'll commit suicide. I was thinking that too, to be honest with you.
He might. Who knows? You have anything else you want to go over here, Jackpot?
I can think. Tilly says it's Joe Biden in the challenge. I'm still trying to talk him into it, but he won't take my call.
Why not?
I think he fell off his bicycle again, and he's got to get straightened up from that. But once he wipes off his knee and puts a Band-Aid on, then I think hope he'll call me back.
Jackpot, you mentioned that it's your anniversary, right? Could we? I'm going to try to convince my wife to put in a bracket. Can you get your wife to put in a bracket?
Well, I'll definitely try.
I mean, you got to smile at her and put some of that Jackpot charm on her. You know, that shit you used to get her 10 years ago. You got to dust some of that off. Get her to put a bracket in the challenge.
Hey, yeah, you're right.
I'm gonna get my wife to put hers in, so we'll see how that works.
Very well said. He commits suicide. Will you guys play the MASH theme song on the show?
The MASH?
Yeah, the boom, 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 boom. I don't want to do the whole thing, depressing.
I don't want to do the whole thing. Appreciate begging, Megan. Hope you get
do the What's Happening theme song instead. I like that one better.
I was going to play another one, Bites the Dust, about the Eagles, but or no, by Queen. My bad. All right, Jackpot. Appreciate you, man. Get in the contest. We'll see you guys later on.
Rish.